a week.
Yeah, tell me about it.
No, really, Trax, tell me about it. What the fuck happened?
No, seriously, what the fuck happened? Like, there was nothing rhetorical there.
Don't worry. Don't worry. We're gonna get into it. I got an article right in front of me. We're gonna read.
Oh God, you got an article.
I have an article.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you lower it? Deliberately? How could you?
Did I do what?
You lowered the volume deliberately in my ears. To be loud for them that's listening on the actual podcast itself, but in my ears it's quieter.
I didn't mean to lower it for you.
Oh, right. Okay.
Sure, Trax. Yeah, sure you didn't lower it for me.
Okay, man.
I see how it is, Trax. I see how it is. How are you, sir?
I'm alright. How are you?
I am... What's the word? Exceptional.
Oh, that's great.
It sounded a little egotistical. I am...
Okay, well, let's bring it down a bit.
I am doing... Oh, here we go. I like this word. I am doing swell.
Swell.
Not just well. Swell.
Swell. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, I'm doing swell because remember a week or 2 weeks ago? No, I guess it was last week. Was it last week?
It was last episode.
I think it was last episode.
I don't know what we're talking about, but I think it was last episode.
Last episode, I was like, hey, I kind of got to do well or I'm going to get fired. You remember that?
Yes, I do recall this conversation from...
All right, so last week I had the best week that I ever had at this company.
Okay.
And on Monday, it was funny because we do like a meeting every Monday and they go, you know, anytime somebody new is like on the board for like being like one of the top people, they say like, hey, what is it that you're doing differently? So this is in front of like 20 people, the general managers, everybody's there. And my sales manager goes, hey, you know, Trax, I'm going to do what you do. Trax, what did you, what's different for you? What are you doing different? And I go, well, I don't know if I should say his name or not. I go, well, sir, you threatened to fire me. And so I turned it around.
Is that what you actually said?
It's actually what I said. And so everybody starts cracking up. The general manager, who I don't know if he realized I was being playful, he was kind of like, he was like, hey, look, the standards are the standard. He like jumps in. I'm like, I was just kind of joking around, you know, I was just having fun. But no, it's continued this week. I had a great day today. And so I don't believe I'm going to be fired. In fact, I think it's impossible for me to be fired now, based off of what has happened over the last week and a half. So I'm really happy about that. I get to keep my job.
That's good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
Wow. Got a crazy.
Good sir.
Well, thank you very much. I had an insane appointment today. You ready for this?
Go on.
I'm at an appointment. You know, I took a look at this lady's shower, her tub. It's falling apart. There's mold, mildew. She's like, it needs to get fixed. I'm like, yeah, yes, it does. I go downstairs. I'm telling her a little bit about, you know, our company, everything like that. All of a sudden, somebody starts knocking on the door. Pound, 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 pound. And I'm like, what's this, like another salesperson? Like, what's going on here? She goes to the door. It's her neighbor telling her that her next door neighbor, the one right beside, was found murdered in her home.
Oh.
Yeah. So she's talking to her for like 15 minutes, finally comes back into the room with me, and she goes, oh, wow, I can't believe it. Now me, because like you're supposed to keep things light and playful, I'm kind of chuckling a little bit. I'm like, oh, what's going on? She goes, my next door neighbor was murdered and they just found her body. And I think to myself, like, I don't know how to continue doing this. Like, Mystery, what would you say to somebody who comes in and goes like, yeah, my next door neighbor was murdered?
Well, I mean, initially, you'd probably say your condolences at least.
Well, yeah, that's basically what I did. Yeah, I said I was sorry. That's so crazy. I'm in shock. All that kind of stuff. And so, like, we just kind of, like, took a break from the appointment for a couple minutes there. And then, got back on, and the rest of the appointment was kind of crazy. But she ended up moving forward with us. But it was just like a crazy situation. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. So it was wild. It was a wild appointment. But yeah, worked out well. So all that ends well not the whole thing's well, but it worked out.
Okay. That's I'm sorry for the person that had been murdered. That's
yeah, shout out to, well, not shout out, but yeah, our condolences. She apparently was suffering from like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. She was like in her 70s, so sometimes she would just go outside and just like start screaming at nobody. So I don't know what happened, but yeah, thought that was good. But that's Philadelphia for you. That's Philly,
Not visiting Philly. No.
Yeah, I would. Certain parts you could visit, but I would get a guide. Get a guide. Yeah, if you come to Philly, let me. I'll keep you in the areas where you're not going to get carjacked or killed.
No, I'll just be 2 houses away. That's all.
I'll be like, well, stay on this side of the street because if you go over there, I can't, protect you. How are you? I think you already answered that. I think I started out saying, how are you? And you said good. You're good?
You start out by saying, how am I? And nice. I'm doing well.
Well, that's really good to hear. I kind of just want to sort of jump into this here if you're okay with that. Well, actually, first off, have you had a chance to play any Halo in the last week or so?
Yeah, I've played a little bit of Halo later on night.
Nice.
Yeah, I played some Ultimate Firefight again with Rebel, which was fun.
Ultimate Firefight?
Mindless. Yeah.
Halo 5?
Mod, the Halo MCC mod.
Oh, Halo MCC, okay.
Yeah. It was, so, it's just mindless fun. Got to fight all sorts of different bosses, which was really cool.
That's fun. I feel like I want to have some mindless fun. Turn my brain off for a little bit,
Yeah, that's literally what we were doing. We just had it. I think we sat there. I think it was like for 4 hours almost. Like we were just like. It was like 5 a.m. by the time like we were kind of done.
That sounds like a good time. That sounds like a good time.
It was just mindless. So fun.
So yeah, I'm gonna just jump into this. I don't know if you've heard, and anybody who's listening, I don't know if you've heard. Over the last week, there has been more turmoil. Who could have guessed that things would have gotten even crazier? The story of 343 and its development and people getting fired and stuff like that. First thing I want to talk about at the top. Kiki Wolfkill is now no longer a part of 343 Industries and has been moved, kind of like Joe Staten, has been moved to more of like an overhead at Xbox Game Studios, multimedia kind of person. So she's not at 343 anymore. This means that of the founding 4 members, Kiki Wolfkill, Bonnie Ross, Frank O'Connor, and who's the gentleman who led the studio for Halo 4 and 5? I forget his name, but he's been out for a while. Anyway, we are now under new leadership. And we knew that we were under new leadership when the MCC guy, got put in charge and Bonnie, moved on. But I mean, this is a totally different leadership at the top. The original founding members of 343, with the exception of Frank O'Connor, are gone. So over the last decade, people have sort of been calling for change of 343. Halo 4 had its haters. A lot of people really loved the campaign, didn't necessarily love the multiplayer. 343 got some criticism for that. Halo 5, sort of the inverse, right? Praise for the multiplayer, criticism for the campaign. Halo Infinite, going through all the struggles that it went through. And then with the Slipspace engine, you had the Slipspace engine lead leave, Bonnie Ross leave, within a little bit of time of each other. And now we're looking at a studio here that has essentially been gutted. They're down 95 employees, lots of contractors gone, lots of longtime people gone, Joe Staten moving on. You know how people looked at Halo 5, well, really 4 and 5 were kind of together. They looked at Halo Infinite as kind of being like a spiritual reboot of Halo.
Yep.
Well, we now have a rebooted 343 Industries. Kind of crazy when you're thinking about it. So over the last week, Bloomberg had put out an article that if you try to read and you don't have a membership, you can't read the whole thing. So I decided to read the article from The Verge, who essentially is reporting on the article from Bloomberg. So, you know, sort of secondhand information here, but it's all the information that we want to talk about here. So here's the headline. Microsoft's post-layoffs Halo studio is smaller and switching to Unreal Engine. Subtitle. A new game codenamed Tatanka, we've talked about that before, will use Unreal Engine instead of the previous in-house Slipspace engine used for Halo Infinite, according to a new Bloomberg report.
Which was like something that was like rumored a very long time ago.
Yep.
Right?
The Unreal Engine was something that was rumored, talking about moving to Unreal. We weren't exactly sure. Okay, the details of this get absolutely insane. All right, so let me take this article from the top here. Halo developer 343 Industries lost at least 95 people due to Microsoft's recent layoffs, and the studio is apparently switching from its proprietary Slipspace engine to Epic Games' widely used Unreal Engine for future games, Bloomberg reports. The future of Halo has been somewhat up in the air since the layoffs announced on January 18th. Halo Infinite had a strong launch in late 2021, but over time, fans started to get annoyed by frustrations with the multiplayer progression, repeated delays to planned features like network campaign co-op and Forge, and no indication that new campaign content was imminent. Now, this is all sounding kind of familiar. You and I have talked on this podcast. You have voiced, I think, your primary frustrations around the menu, the UI, and also the way that the store works when it comes to unlocking armor and customization and stuff like that.
Yep.
So it says here, 343 has publicly affirmed its commitment to the franchise following the layoffs. Okay, we talked about this last week. Pierre Hintz came out and said, Halo and Master Chief are here to stay. Said studio head Pierre Hintz, who took over the role in September, said in a statement tweeted from Halo account on January 21st. 343 Industries will continue to develop Halo now and in the future, including epic stories, multiplayer, and what makes Halo more of what makes Halo great. We talked about this last week. Matt Booty, who heads up Xbox Game Studios, told Bloomberg in an interview that 343 will continue as the internal developer for Halo and as the home of Halo. Right? 343 comes out, hey, Halo's with us, you know, kind of trying to put down some of the speculation and the rumors out there that 343 was just going to kind of become a publisher, so like a managing company instead of actually developing Halo. Okay, so continues. But it's unclear when we might see the next game in the series, so it's difficult to know exactly what 343's involvement will be with the franchise going forward. For example, the studio was already working with Austin-based Certain Affinity on a battle royale game codenamed Tatanka, but that game may evolve in different directions, Bloomberg reports. Okay, so Tatanka, we talked about Tatanka before on this podcast. Tatanka was, or is, the battle royale-ish. We don't know exactly what it is. We haven't seen gameplay, haven't got really any kind of confirmations. Battle royale-esque type of game mode that Certain Affinity has been working on. Now, if you don't know who Certain Affinity is led by Max Oberman, who was the multiplayer lead for Halo 2 and Halo 3 back in the day. Okay. All right. So here's...
Is he a multiplayer lead, or did he just help with a bunch of maps?
He was the lead for Halo 2 and Halo 3.
Oh, okay.
He helped... Right. Well, him as a Bungie employee was the lead for Halo 2, Halo 3 multiplayer. He left, started Certain Affinity, and then Certain Affinity has been hired during the days of Halo 4, Halo 5 to like work on multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Says here, Tatanka will also apparently be developed on Unreal Engine. Okay, so this is something that was kind of rumored. We weren't exactly sure. So the Halo Battle Royale is not going... There's no way that this is going to exist within Halo Infinite's UI. We were talking about that a lot. It's on Unreal Engine. It's not even being developed on the Slipspace engine.
So they started developing it on the Unreal Engine, right? Or have they just now started transferring it all over and now continuing development?
It looks like it has been developed on the Unreal Engine. There might have been a time. From the beginning. Yeah, I mean, maybe there was a time like in the beginning where they're like, "Oh, we'll use Slipspace." But probably what happened was Max Oberman went like, "Look, all my guys know Unreal. They don't know that engine. It has a whole bunch of issues. Let us just develop this. It's on the side anyway. Let's just do it on Unreal. Who cares?" Maybe. I'm not saying that's what the conversation was, but maybe it was something like that.
So that makes me wonder, if that is truly the case, then would we be getting a separate program for this game type?
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Let us continue. Tatanka will also apparently be developed on Unreal Engine. I already read that. While future Halo games will also explore using Unreal, Bloomberg says. If true, the change marks yet another major game development moving to Unreal. Witcher and Cyberpunk developer CD Projekt Red announced a multi-year strategic partnership with Epic Games to use Unreal in March, and in November, Epic said that more than half of all announced next-gen games are made on Unreal Engine. 343 also apparently hasn't... Okay, this is the part that everybody's like, what has been going on? 343 has apparently... 343 also apparently hasn't been making new story content for Halo Infinite, which seems surprising for a game once billed as the start of the next 10 years for Halo, and titled, well, Infinite. Instead, developers were making prototypes in the Unreal Engine and pitching ideas for new Halo games, Bloomberg is reporting.
I wonder where that's coming from. Like, what kind of source is that coming? Is there like a press release or something that was released?
Bloomberg has its sources from within 343. So these are all sources within 343 talking here.
Okay, so nothing official was said.
Correct. I mean, 343 doesn't really come out and say much anyway, but yes, nothing official. This is all behind the scenes, kind of seeing what's going on behind sources from within the company, talking to some reporters. So if this is true, then what this means is, since Halo Infinite released, the mystery, I don't know how else to explain it other than they just wasted 2 to 3 years making the Slipspace engine. Just wasted. Because as soon as Infinite comes out, they're pitching new ideas for Halo games using Unreal Engine. I mean, that blows my mind. I thought that they were making campaign content.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to think.
Crazy. Just crazy.
I mean, it's now making me wonder if truly the Slipspace engine was built from the bottom up, like from scratch. At that point, like I can't believe that, like, if they were going to create the Slipspace engine from bottom up, that they would just be like so willing to let go as quickly as they did in the past, considering they've been working on it for the past like X amount of years.
It's so crazy. It makes sense when you look at the heads that are rolling. It makes sense when you look at the leadership that is no longer in leadership anymore. Like, you take 343, like, let's say you're Microsoft Mystery, and you're like, hey, 343, do what you need to. You want to build a new engine? Go for it. Go ahead, go build the new engine. And then they make something that takes years, had to have cost millions of dollars, because you're paying all these employees benefits, the rent, the overhead for the building, like all of that, for years, to make something that was working so poorly that they were like, okay, we're gonna have to pivot to Unreal. Let's start getting some prototypes made in Unreal Engine. Like, that blows my mind. Also makes sense why they moved Joe Staten back to Microsoft. They're probably like, well, look, we don't even have any, like, let's just move him. I don't know what he was working on now. Like, I'm so confused. 343 also apparently hasn't been making, I'm sorry, back to the article here. 343 also apparently hasn't been making new story content for Halo Infinite, which seems surprising for, oh wait, I already read that. Okay, so we asked Microsoft for comment on the Bloomberg report. Epic declined to comment. On the day of the layoffs, Bloomberg also reported that Joe Staten, who Microsoft brought in to help with the Infinite's development, would be returning to Xbox's publishing division. So that's essentially it for the article. So, major takeaways to take from this. Slipspace Engine was an absolute mess. Not working. Then they spent a whole bunch of time making different prototypes for future Halo games, completely ditching the Halo Infinite's going to be around for 10 years. That's just mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. And I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense that now they have new management, they have new leadership, and 3 of the 4 founding members are no longer a part of the studio.
Yeah, but how much longer until we get new stuff then?
So this is the scary thing. So what they're anticipating, and what it seems like, is that they are going to just focus on multiplayer. They are putting all of the resources, I shouldn't say all of the resources, the majority of the resources on the live service team to make sure that Halo Infinite's multiplayer continues getting updates, continues getting new content, everything like that, while they are working out what's going to go on with future games. Okay, so this was the other thing. With Tatanka and Certain Affinity, it's now looking like this is going to be a separate game that's being released, sort of similar to what you said with like Warzone being separate from Call of Duty. So a separate Halo game that's going to be released called Tatanka, no story elements to it, but a totally different, like not the same multiplayer as Halo Infinite. So it's going to be its own game. It may be free, might be connected to Halo Infinite somehow, but essentially it's going to be its own thing. And now they're saying that it's evolving in different ways. So I don't think that whatever Tatanka is going to turn into, I don't believe that Tatanka is going to turn into just, oh, this is Halo's Battle Royale. One, if you look around in the industry, there's a sort of a burnout, it looks like, of Battle Royale. I mean, it took about, 8 years now for it to kind of burn out a bit. 2015, 2016 is when it really started getting popular with PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Okay. And so I think like a classic Battle Royale game, for those of you who hate Battle Royale, I think you're probably would be celebrating this. And we sort of knew from the beginning Tatanka was not going to be just a straight up Battle Royale, that they were going to have Halo's own take on it, Max Oberman's own take on it. But it sounds like it's going to be more than just that now, because it might be the only new Halo thing that we see for a couple years. And we don't even know when Tatanka's even coming out, which is even crazier when you think about that. We still have the code name. It's codename Tatanka. We don't even have the actual name of it.
That's true. That is true. I'm
This,
also wondering if this is going to be just a test to see how, like, for example, like we know 343 is going to be like, I guess, like still going to be making Halo. I'm
yeah,
wondering now if maybe the Tatanka thing is now just going to be like, let's play test this, see if Tatanka works out. Let's see if Max Oberman would be willing to kind of come to maybe help develop more like Halo projects in the future with Certain Affinity, and then maybe Certain Affinity could be that whole like the new like 343 eventually.
your microphone sounds really really low at some points. I'm not sure if it's like I'm not sure what that's about. Is there a way that you can turn yourself up or move closer to it or something?
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
There.
Oh, now I can hear you. It sounds like you're right next to me now.
Left ear or right ear?
Both ears, like right behind me.
That's freaky. Nope. That's freaky.
Would you?
Yeah, so
Good.
anyways, as I was probably I don't know, as I was alluding to earlier, I was thinking maybe like maybe it could be like a playtest thing for Tatanka. Maybe for eventual, like if it ends up becoming super popular or something, maybe Certain Affinity could be like the main developer in the future for Halo.
Yeah, I what do you think about this idea? How would you feel if Certain Affinity was sort of partnered with Halo and just like took care of the multiplayer?
Oh,
Like,
honestly, I think that would be great because like some of the multiplayer maps that Certain Affinity has made for like Halo, like in Halo Reach in the past, I've actually enjoyed. Like I wish we could play more. Just we end up playing other maps instead. Not everybody's got the DLC.
right. Yeah, I don't know if part of it's nostalgia. I don't know if part of it is because like I just think that Max Oberman is very competent. I don't know if it's because like he's the one who made the Halo 2. Like when you look at multiplayer and not gameplay, but when you look at how multiplayer was set up in terms of ranked playlists, social playlists, a progression system, I think that most Halo fans would say Halo 3 had it. Halo 3 had it. The only thing Halo 3 didn't have was like Reach's customization. If you could combine the multiplayer progression system, everything like that from Halo 3, add on the customization of Halo Reach, you have a beautiful multiplayer right there. You know, assuming that Forge is good, you know, Halo Infinite's Forge. I don't know, Halo 3's theater mode. I know that worked well.
How does that change Halo Infinite's Forge now?
Great question.
Did it change it?
Great question, because Halo Infinite's Forge is all based on the Slipspace engine.
Yeah.
Aye. And
you're
you're not
into it.
It's
the more questions we have. Okay.
So many questions. Like if it switches to Unreal, did they just spend all this time making a kick-ass Forge that is going to be completely obsolete in like 2 years, 3 years with the next Halo project? Are we not going to get another Halo campaign until 2026? Like, these are serious questions. That is so crazy to think about. It is so crazy to think about that in a span of 10 years, from 2015 to 2025, the only campaign story that we've gotten is going to be Halo Infinite.
It's kind of upsetting, but I guess we're just gonna have to take the punches as we go. As somebody that really does enjoy like story stuff,
yeah,
Halo, and always would love to play a Master Chief campaign or even just continue in the Halo universe, like play campaigns in the Halo universe. I mean, it is upsetting to hear that we have to wait potentially up to 3 more years before we even get anything else new. And it's also kind of upsetting to kind of hear that, like, hey, they weren't really working on any campaign expansions. They said they were. Like, that's kind of ouch. I just feel like I've been lied to. You know?
Now, I there's a part of me that believes that Joe Staten was probably in like
the other thing, right? We have
pre-production, was probably in pre-production of like campaign or something like that. You know, like I don't believe that there wasn't any talk or any ideas or any theories about what the next story would be, because usually the teams are figuring out what the next story is going to be as soon as, right before a Halo game releases. Like they were working on, like, take Halo 5 story. Like they begun working on Halo 5 story before Halo 4 launched, right? So that's usually how these development cycles kind of go. So I think them saying there's no work on the campaign, I think what that really means is like, hey, like there were not teams that were sort of dedicated to building the levels and building all this stuff out. I imagine that Joe Staten was going to do Halo the Endless, and was figuring out story beats and what he was going to do for it. But it sounds like the teams, what they were actually working on were just, hey, how do we make Halo work in Unreal Engine? Whoa, dude, blows my mind. I want the book. I want one of these developers at 343 at some point to write a book. And just, I want to know the behind the scenes of all this stuff. I really do.
There's gonna be a documentary, a Vidoc or something about it, probably.
I mean, like, can you
3
think?
years' time.
Can you think of another franchise or studio that has like more drama and narrative than the actual games that they create? Like, it is crazy what's going on there.
I'm sure there have been plenty in the past in regards
Yeah,
to
probably. It's probably a crazy
like,
statement for me to say
there's
that.
so many games, right? There's so many franchises that are out there, right? Hell, even Call of Duty's had its own little hiccup with,
Well, that's
like,
true.
development, all that kind of stuff, right?
Modern Warfare 3 has a very colorful behind the scenes kind of look to it. That's true.
Right. Black Ops 4, I feel like, is another one of those titles, where there could have been some stuff going on, especially the zombies mode. I kind of found out recently there's a bunch of zombie stuff, like that kind of had a little bit of drama, especially closer to the end, which is why it's so drastically different now than it was.
Oh, I
before.
didn't know that. Yeah, I just, I don't know. I don't know. There's a part of me that is feeling hopeful because I felt like, I think like my experience as a fan over the last 10 years has been a failed MCC launch, Halo 4, where I actually really like the multiplayer in Halo 4. I know that I'm kind of like one of the odd men out on that. There were some things about the campaign that kind of like bothered me. I didn't like that the grunts sounded like lizards. I didn't like that Cortana died, but like, it was a decent story, I guess, looking back on it.
Yeah, I mean, like, they took that and they changed it, right? In Halo 5 and Halo Infinite.
Yeah, but I just mean like her dying in the first place. Because you're right. Like they brought her back.
The grunts.
Oh, the grunts. Yes. See, yeah. Halo 5 grunts, I loved. Halo 5 grunts are my favorite grunts. I thought they were so unbelievably funny. I loved Halo 5's Covenant version of the Covenant. I think that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like my experience over the years with 343 has been, I love what they're doing, and then like for some reason I'm disappointed. Love what they're doing, a little disappointed. Love Halo 5. I'm excited for Halo 5. What's all this stuff about Cortana being like Darth Vader? Why is she a bad guy now, right? Halo Infinite. Love the gameplay. Very little content kind of following it, right? Forge coming late, everything like that. And then the campaign, I think Mystery, you and I are sort of on the same page here. Like, okay, all right, yeah, decent campaign, but what the hell was even happening again? What was going on exactly? A little confusing. So I think when I look at Halo 3 and how they've Halo 3, when I look at 343 and how they've handled Halo, it's like, okay, there's enough here that I'm still playing and I'm engaged and I want to know what's coming next and I'll still get excited. But like falling short of the very, very high bar that Halo fans have for Halo. That would be how I would describe it for me personally. And I think that Microsoft, whoever it is at Microsoft calling the shots, just ran out of patience. I think they just ran out of patience, and it seems kind of like a clusterfuck over there. And so they just decided, hey, new studio lead. We're getting rid of all these employees because we don't even know what the hell they're working on. They're not working on campaign. I know that they're saying it's because of the incoming recession and everything like that. And maybe that's true. But it doesn't look like they did equal cuts across the board for every Microsoft studio that's out there. So that's why part of me thinks like, well, you know what? I think they purposefully let go of more 343 employees because of the inner turmoil or inner issues that are going on at 343. That's just my theory. That's a theory. I don't know, Mystery. What do you
developer theory?
That's developer theory. And cut. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I think I'm optimistic a little bit. How are you feeling?
If all that is true, it's kind of heartbreaking. For sure. I'm still taking that with a grain of salt, of course. I'm not sure. Like, I'm waiting for an official press. Has like Phil Spencer said anything at all? Out of curiosity?
No, the article just released today, so they haven't had any time to really.
Even since the layoffs, I'm sure Phil Spencer must have said something.
Oh, since the layoffs, I don't know. Let me see here.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that is if all that is true, it is kind of heartbreaking that I have to wait for a couple more years. But I mean, at the end of the day, I still have Halo games that I can still play at this particular moment, that I am still enjoying. So I'm just gonna have to hold on. Unfortunately, gonna have to hold on and play that until we get something new. That's all I can say, and that's all I can do.
Yeah, I mean, what else can we do? You know,
there really is nothing else we can do at this point. We just wait and keep waiting.
All right, let me see if Phil Spencer has said anything here. Yeah, no, exactly right. Phil Spencer tweeted out about Age of Empires. He tweeted out about Age of Empires again. Black History Month. He does not look like he has addressed anything about the 343 situation. Really? He has been retweeting and tweeting stuff about this new game called Hi-Fi Rush. And Age of Empires 2 and GoldenEye 007.
Are they doing a remake or something for that?
Yeah, they are. And it's gonna be on Xbox. Oh, wow. So people are excited about that. Yeah, he has not. I'm looking here. He has not addressed anything going on at 343.
That's unfortunate. I figured he would have said something sometime after the whole layoffs. Because I mean, like, even in the past, like, we've heard from Phil Spencer, you know, pretty often whenever there was something going on with 343. Right?
Yeah, I'm wondering if
we had to delay Halo Infinite, and then, you know, like a week or two later, you'll hear something from Phil Spencer about that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's coming, right? Maybe they're trying to figure out what to say. It seems pretty clear that fans want somebody to say something, and you know, as these articles are kind of coming out, and part of the reason why these articles are coming out is because developers are being let go, right? So it's likely that you have more people willing to talk, like, hey, whatever, you fired me, now I'm gonna kind of like let out what's been going on since you guys have been trying to keep that hushed. By the way, there's no campaign, it's all been Unreal Engine kind of stuff. You know, I can kind of see that happening. I can see why these reports are kind of coming out a week after 95 people got laid off. Like, that sort of makes sense to me. Yeah. They and I think it was Shadow who was saying this. Not our Shadow, a different Shadow who I know. Halo Completionists, his Shadow. He was talking about like, hey, we just need some kind of communication. And I like how Pierre came out and said, hey, look, Halo's with us, because he addressed those rumors, but not really getting deeper into our roadmap or what we're looking at moving forward or anything like that. So I think that it would be good maybe at some point for Phil Spencer or Pierre to come out and just clear up what the hell's been going on. Hey guys, here's what's been happening. Here's what's happened. Here's what we're doing right now. Here's where we're looking to go in the future. I think like you need something like that from them. I don't know if we'll get that, but I think we need something like that, because there's a lot of, how you put it, sort of like heartbroken, not heartbroken, but kind of like just really disappointed Halo fans right now. Now, again, I'm still feeling kind of optimistic, if I'm being honest. I haven't been thrilled with 343 over the last decade. I would continue playing their games because it's Halo, buying their merchandise and all that kind of stuff. I love Halo. So whoever's making it, I'm rooting for you. I'm on your bench. I'm on your bench. I got the water bottle. So, you know, you drop the pass, whatever. I'm still going to squirt the water in your mouth. You know, that's kind of how I feel about 343. I'll be your water boy, you know, no matter what.
Trax the water boy.
I'll squirt the water in your mouth, you know, so you can get back on the field and maybe change something. But after everything that's gone on, Marty O'Donnell was taking shots. After everything that's been going on, it's like, you know what? Maybe this is the change that we needed. We needed the studio heads to be out. We needed new management. We needed new people in charge, because it has not been working to, I think, most Halo fans' standards. You know, it's interesting. Somebody was talking about sequels. Somebody was talking about how, like, if you look at Halo 1, go to Halo 2, go to Halo 3, you can see how Halo 2 built on Halo 1, right? Halo 2 had everything Halo 1 had, but they added dual wielding. They added vehicle boarding. They added matchmaking and multiplayer. You look at Halo 3, and they expanded on everything from Halo 1, everything from Halo 2, except now we got, you know, a broken down social playlist, rank playlist. We got action stack. Oh, we're adding on Forge. We're adding on Theater. So every Halo game had kind of built on what came before and improved upon it and expanded on it. And when you look at the 343 games, you got Halo 4, which launched with Forge and Theater. Halo 5 not launching with Forge, having some other kind of, there were a whole bunch of guns from Halo 4 that never show up in Halo 5. There were game modes in Halo 4 that we don't have in Halo 5. And so I think it might have been the Actman who was pointing this out. Every 343 game has sort of seemed like its own kind of reboot of what they want to do. Halo 5 comes out, completely revamps multiplayer, which is fine by me. They come out with all these weapons and all these different variants. And then Halo Infinite doesn't use any of them. Halo Infinite completely restarts everything. So it's like the games didn't seem like they were really adding on top of each other and carrying over from one title to the next title. It was like each title was its own kind of separate thing. And I feel like I agree with that assessment. What do you think about that?
The constant potential reboots?
Yeah, kind of feeling like
I mean, weapon changes in the sandbox are pretty normal for Halo games in general. I mean,
yeah.
What were we missing from Halo 4 to Halo 5?
The Covenant weapon, the sticky detonator.
We were missing the sticky detonator. The Covenant weapon. Which Covenant weapon?
Storm rifle. They changed it to or was it a storm rifle in Halo 4 and 5?
Yeah, it was a storm rifle in Halo 4 and Halo 5.
Okay, never mind. Then maybe it was just a sticky detonator that I was thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, like, minor changes like that is pretty normal for Halo games, right? Like, you didn't have what was it, from Halo 2 to Halo 3? What were you missing? Now I'm trying to think about that. Great. Well, Halo CE to Halo 2, you're missing the assault rifle.
Yeah, you're missing the assault rifle from Halo Halo CE to Halo 2, you lost the assault rifle and you lost the pistol. I mean, you had a pistol in Halo 2, but I mean, nothing like the way that it functioned in Halo 1. Really, the Halo CE pistol is what became the battle rifle when you really kind of think about it.
Right. That's true. That's true. But yeah, no, sandbox changes from game title to game title is pretty normal. Maybe not as drastic as 343's, I guess. It's probably better to say.
Yeah, and maybe there's more differences I'm thinking between like Halo 5 and Halo Infinite than maybe Halo 4 to Halo 5. I think that that's fair. Like no firefight, no Warzone firefight. Halo 4 had Ricochet, you know, they just didn't even bother bringing that game type over. So like, I don't know, I guess like there were things that seemed like they worked and they just didn't build upon them. They didn't expand upon them. It just, and Halo Infinite, the clearest example of like you don't really have like all those Halo 5 weapons, all the different variations and stuff like that, just kind of gone. You have some variations in like the campaign, and some of them do show up in multiplayer the more that I think about it. But still, you don't have all the ones that you have from Halo 5. So it feels, each title feels like its own separate thing rather than part of like a saga. How about that? Maybe that's a better way to say it.
Sure, yeah.
And maybe the campaign is the best evidence of that. I mean, Halo 4 campaign to Halo 5, Halo 5 especially to Halo Infinite. I mean, Halo Infinite was clearly a reboot. But, you know, you have the Didact set up in Halo 4 who just doesn't show up again. Just, he's done. Oh, okay. I guess he's completely done with. Not actually done with. He shows up in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that kind of stuff. It's like, they're all, it feels kind of disjointed.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for from the new leadership. A plan, a concise plan for story. And
yeah, that would be great.
Let's build upon what we've done from previous Halo games. Have more, not less, when we're starting.
I would like to see like the Banished be like the main through line though, as a villain. Because like we've now had the Banished for so many. I mean, we got for 2 games at the least.
Yeah.
Right. So like I do want to see that conclusion. So if somebody does take over the campaign, and let's say they do one more soft reboot for the sake of it, like I would want it to be against the Banished, because I would like there to be a good conclusion for the fight against the Banished. I would like to, you know, see how they would conclude an Atriox story.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Banished being around for a long time. I love the character Atriox. He's scary, he's intimidating, he's badass. Like, I would be perfectly fine if Master Chief was battling the Banished for the next 10 years with multiple campaigns. Like, I would be all for that. I love it. I love the way they look. I love the attitude. I love the brutalness of them. You know, I love the Banished. I really do. I'm completely, as a Halo fan, I'm completely sold on the Banished. I like them a lot.
Yeah, and then it would also be nice to have a little bit more connecting dots between like Halo Wars and Halo 3 ODST and all that kind of stuff. Just, I think it would be nice to have that in the universe for story purposes as well. Just to help make it feel less separate.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
There's an incredible story that could be told with all of that. There really is.
Yeah, we need new leadership, and it's what we have now. And it just sucks because it's like, here we are again, kind of starting over. I wonder what they're going to say at E3 this year. Like, they've got to say something. They've got to address something. Somebody has to say something, please.
I would be surprised if they did
say something.
Yeah.
You don't think that maybe we'll get like a Tatanka preview or trailer or something like that at E3? I think that's what I was thinking about.
Strictly depend on how far in development they are with Tatanka. Again, we don't know whether or not they started ground up with the Unreal Engine or if they had to transfer it over and all that stuff.
Right.
And
right.
again, also, they haven't said anything in a press release or anything, so I have to take everything with a grain of salt. So,
yeah,
I don't know
that's
how far
true.
everything is.
God,
I mean, for all I know, and I'm not saying this against anybody that might have spoken up, but for all I know, they could be still angry about the whole situation, and it might just be me wanting to poop on 343 for the shit that they've done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Microsoft was given an opportunity to comment and say something, and they just said nothing. That leads me to feel like maybe there's some validity to it.
Maybe.
Like if it was completely untrue, maybe they would say, I don't know who's talking to you guys, but it's completely untrue. None of this is happening. Versus, yeah, we're not going to comment. Like that to me is like, oh, okay, maybe there's some truth here. Maybe it's not all exactly the way they're picturing it. Like there's no campaign stuff being worked on. I actually don't believe that exactly. But enough of it. Crazy. But that's what's going on. It is an unreal moment in time for Halo.
That's what you did there.
You like that?
That took me a second. I'm sorry. It's like 1 a.m. and I'm just processing.
That's why I stayed quiet. I was like, I'm just gonna let that sink in with him. Now I know it's kind of late here. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about tonight before we wrapped up here, Mystery?
The only other thing that would be there to talk about would be the tournament.
Ooh, okay. Do you want to do like an update, or what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, the first official games will be starting off this Sunday.
Woohoo!
February 5th is when you guys will start being able to play your first round games. I believe you have from February 5th to February 12th to actually play them, right?
That's right.
And at this particular moment, I am trying to set up a scrims night for everybody that's involved. So anyone that's participating in the tournament themselves. I'm thinking this Saturday, right before the whole Sunday before the tournament and all that stuff. It'd be nice to be able to get everybody, or at least whoever wants to come, for a scrims night for that. That way, at least you guys have an opportunity to play amongst each other and all that stuff, and also exchange gamer tags, exchange whatever information you guys want to exchange in order to set up your games and all that kind of stuff. So, like, I'm thinking that would be a good way to kind of get everybody to get together and actually get this thing going.
Hell yeah!
And it also gives you a chance to test your skill against other players that you're going to be playing against in the tournament. So
great ideas. Great ideas.
Yeah, so I'm hoping, like, I'm scheduled in the morning on Saturday, so I'm hoping that, like, I can be home by a reasonable time, but I'm hoping to get everybody up, at around 10 Eastern Standard Time. And if somebody else is willing to start gathering people earlier than that, then that's also good, right? At the end of the day, as long as you guys are all playing with each other and enjoying their time and, like, doing all that stuff, then that would be the way to go.
Sounds like a plan. That is the way to go. I'm excited for this. I was actually chatting with the guy who I'm going up against, and he was like, what did he say? I forget exactly what he said. He's like, well, when do you want to get together so you can beat my ass? I'm like, bro, I want to have a good time with you. Like, I've never even met this guy before. I think I'm going to just hop into party chat, which is something I typically don't do in tournaments, and just, like, have a good time with this guy, connect, chat, talk it up.
Chat with Tater. Is it Tater, I believe, right? That's
yeah.
Going up against?
As my company would say, I'm here to. Well, actually, they would say make a friend and build urgency. I don't need to build urgency, but I'm gonna make a friend. I'm gonna make a friend and have a good time. Is what I'm gonna do. That's my goal for this tournament. Meet some people, make a friend.
Yeah, you're going up against Tater. Yep, that would be the way to go. Enjoy it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And that's the whole idea of it, anyways, right? It wasn't more of a. It was just more of a, hey, let's chill, let's talk, let's have fun,
right.
Let's have by the end of it, you guys can have more people to play with, So.
Exactly. Till the end, when it becomes cutthroat. But before that point, yeah, it's all about having fun.
When does it become cutthroat? Final Four or championship?
I would say Final Four.
Final four. Okay, so you got the one round. If you win this round, then you go cutthroat.
Yeah.
Oh,
You get one round of nice tracks, and then I'm out for blood.
One round of nice tracks. Okay.
Tracks round 2, back for blood. Hell yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. So yeah, that's all happening. Keep an eye out for Burger's Twitter so you can see all the updates and everything like that. Also join the Discord, you'll see some updates as well. Mystery, what do you got going on this week?
So last week we finished off our Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Hey.
Strahd. We beat Strahd, so that was really exciting. I also got to throw a birthday cake in the face of somebody that had done something very terrible to our team. So
Whoa.
that was fun as well. That was like a neat little like post-credit scene, I suppose, that I had set up with the DM, which was really funny for me. But yeah, we are going to be doing a new campaign now, starting tomorrow. I think it's called Tomb of Annihilation.
Ooh.
So we're gonna give that a shot, see how that goes. It's kind of crazy. Like we did this one Dungeons and Dragons campaign for over a year, and I can't believe that it's been that long already. But like, I guess so. So, kind of curious to see how long this Tomb of Annihilation one is. And I'm hoping to, I don't know, maybe do better than I did last time with this playthrough, because that was my first time playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now this will be like my second playthrough of something in Dungeons and Dragons. So we'll see how that goes.
I can't believe the campaign took over a year.
Yeah, it took over a year. It was almost every Thursday night. We ended up doing about 53 sessions altogether.
Whoa.
But then there was the in betweens that were like there were break times where like some people couldn't make it, so we couldn't do it that night, and so on and so forth. Right. So that's why it was over a year. There's 52 weeks in the year, and we did 53 sessions. Well, I guess that still is over the year. Math! Simple math.
Simple math. That's still pretty crazy.
But yeah, you can catch me at twitch.tv/REALMASTRY.
There we go. You can find me on Twitter at daddy_tracks. Say what's up to me. And you can find this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all the places that you can find podcasts. All right, so everybody enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you guys back here next week, and in the meantime, take a deep breath. It's all gonna be okay. Halo's going to be fine, and we're gonna have more campaigns to play. We're gonna have more multiplayers to get excited about. It's going to be okay. I promise you. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, let's end on a sad music.
I shouldn't have promised that.
It's gonna be okay. Sad.
It's gonna be okay, man. It's gonna be okay. I mean, I hope.
Yeah, you can put like hopeful. No, I'm kidding.
Well, let's find. Here we go. How about this?
Oh. There you go. You went for the exact next song, didn't you? You went for
Alert. I'm detecting Covenant movement.
Movement.
Is this one licensed? Oh wait, no.
It's not a terrible song to go out on. All right, guys. Dude, that song's a straight banger.
Yeah, are we changing our outro song now?
I don't know. What do you think? Like, this is way more upbeat. Yeah, because you're right. You're right. Like, you listen to this. It's like, dear God, did somebody just die on the podcast? Like, what is happening here? This is tragic. It's like this song is literally called Heavy Price Paid. Somebody dying. That's a rough way to go out.
That is
on the other hand, we got like, hey.
Alert. I'm detecting Covenant movement.
And then this part right here. I mean, come on, this gives me chills. I don't know. We might want to consider going out on that one because that's at least not tragic. You know what I mean? Look, they're in the chat. They're crying. They're sobbing at the other one, and then it's like alert, alert. Detecting Covenant movement. I don't know. I just that one song's really sad. Song is really sad. Damn tragic. All right, everybody in the live chat, thanks for hanging out tonight. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.